Blades.
You got the lineup that just won't quit.
I'm eating my dinner.
How's it now, Chunky?
Just chillin', making out of it.
Jerk! That was fun.
Hit the light, lock that door.
Life stinks.
Cheer up, you're still a kid. It's gonna get much worse.
You know, tell 'em what we got in store.
Is there a Dr. Barnes here?
Yeah, start your night with CBS. Making out of it.
Want more morning news with half the commercials? Starting September 12th. That's just what you'll get from CBS 4 News.
Get more big news.
With less commercials.
More developing stories.
With less commercials.
More weather and traffic.
With less commercials.
More reports to keep you healthy and to help you save money, too.
Get more morning news with half the commercials.
And get more of the news you want right now.
Only on CBS 4 News this morning. Weekdays from 5 to 7, starting September 12th. You're watching CBS 4, South Florida's most watched television station.
Good morning, I'm Harry Smith. 1 week after Hurricane Katrina slams into the Gulf Coast, survivors are still being counted and the dead have yet to be counted. There is relief, but there is also misery unseen in modern America. We get live reports from the scene on the recovery efforts.
And I'm Hannah Storm. The death of Supreme Court Chief Justice William Rehnquist has created a scramble to fill 2 vacancies on the bench, which President Bush promises to quickly fill. We'll get analysis early this Monday morning, September 5th. 2005.
From CBS News, Harry Smith, Hannah Storm, Julie Chen, Renee Seiler, and Dave Price with the weather bring you The Early Show.
Starting up a brand new day.
Live from Fifth Avenue in New York City.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to The Early Show. Renee and Julie, as you can see, are off today. Harry's back from a weekend along the Gulf Coast and a remarkable experience. And
yeah, indeed.
Going
we'll talk
back
a little
soon?
bit. Yeah, we're going to go back after the show today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in this morning. Let's get right to our headlines this morning. The latest in the aftermath of Katrina. So far, 59 deaths have been verified in New Orleans, but the death toll, by some estimates, could be in the thousands. Shelters in Texas are overflowing with evacuees, and there are plans to airlift survivors to some other states. And President Bush makes a second visit to the storm region today, visiting Louisiana and Mississippi. In New Orleans, search crews are discovering some survivors who refuse to move. CBS News correspondent Byron Pitts is live in Kenner, Louisiana with the latest. Good morning, Byron.
Well, good morning, Harry. The city of New Orleans can't seem to catch a break. This morning, we're in the middle of a thunderstorm. The Associated Press is reporting a disturbing number. According to one New Orleans police commander, the death toll here could reach as high as 20,000.
Nearly 1 week after Hurricane Katrina roared in and ravaged New Orleans, people are still trapped in their homes. There are still countless neighborhoods where the water is rooftop high, and still untold stories of the dying and the dead. This young boy lost his mother.
Somebody push her in the water.
By every estimate, the death toll in New Orleans will rise well above 1,000. Disease is a growing concern as corpses have been left to rot on the sidewalk and in muddy water. Despite it all, some residents refuse to leave their homes.
I think we are having some difficulties getting some of the folks out of their houses because they think they're safer there. This is the world that they've known all of their lives.
Lives lost and lives ruined. Deja Humphreys has lived in this house for 35 years. She feels beaten, but not broken.
I do break down emotionally and cry and all of that stuff, but I don't know. I just thank God we're still living.
Some of the ugliness here is man-made. After looters had their way for several days, heavily armed National Guardsmen and police began patrolling neighborhoods. Yesterday, New Orleans police shot and killed at least 5 men on a bridge. Authorities say they were shooting at a group of contractors working for the Army Corps of Engineers. It's the violence after the hurricane and the injuries caused by the hurricane that have kept doctors busy at FEMA's makeshift hospital inside New Orleans Airport.
We've seen people with broken legs, people who have fallen through, fallen off buildings. We have seen people who have had some traumatic injuries like stabbings.
Dr. Larson and the others here have slept on average of 2 hours per night since Wednesday. Overwhelmed, understaffed, many are emotionally spent.
We know at least these people have some hope. And that's it.
According to Dr. Larson, as early as later this morning, FEMA could send out small mass units to communities outside New Orleans. As bad as it is in the city, and it is awful in the city, there are communities here that have yet to receive any federal aid. Harry?
Byron Pitts live in Kenner this morning. Thank you very much. Hundreds of thousands of Katrina evacuees have packed shelters in a number of states, but some made it only as far as the Louisiana state capital, Baton Rouge. CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman is live in Baton Rouge with that story. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Harry. In fact, so many people have poured in here. Baton Rouge is now Louisiana's biggest city. Most of these folks have no idea where to go next, so this city has a population boom with an endless list of needs. Katrina's second great flood was evacuees, and tens of thousands of them fled New Orleans for the nearest big city, Baton Rouge.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I am scared to death.
Deshawn Strungies has nothing, and 4 kids looking to her for everything.
Just somebody give us a chance. That's all I'm asking.
And you need that chance here in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, Baton Rouge to start my life.
In Baton Rouge, evacuees from New Orleans crowd every shelter. Istruma Baptist Church is like many charities here, reaching out with hope and help for every basic need: food, housing, a job. For this city, it's daunting now and will be for months to come.
Now, I think the community, generally speaking, realizes we have to dig in for the long haul. We know that. Nobody will be the same. The lifestyle will be different.
The sick and infirm from New Orleans are overflowing hospitals now in Baton Rouge, which are hiring more staff, doctors and nurses from New Orleans.
What we've pretty much done is just relocated medical services from New Orleans to Baton Rouge.
And speaking of relocating people, tomorrow FEMA will start taking housing applications here in Baton Rouge. But because so many evacuees don't really know what kind of shape their place in New Orleans is in, they don't know where they really ought to live. So here they stay, looking for answers and looking for an awful lot of help.
Unbelievable.
Harry?
Unbelievable. It's like a bizarre limbo. Mark Strassman, thanks very much in Baton Rouge. Of course, it's not just Louisiana in dire straits. The entire Gulf Coast was devastated, and some victims there are still being rescued. CBS News correspondent Cynthia Bowers is in Biloxi with one remarkable story of survival. Cynthia, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Well, as you mentioned, President Bush will be getting another look at all the devastation. But over the weekend, search and rescue units experienced a victory. 2 Vietnamese men were found in the hull of a fishing vessel that had been blown inland. Both were wounded, but after all this time, still very much alive.
This is the type of motivational factor that encourages people to work that extra hour, to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to put in an 18-hour day.
Amazing grace.
The truth is, small miracles such as this one are heartening in more ways than one for people here. Because even as the relief efforts became much more apparent, some in Mississippi worry a full week after Katrina, Americans could soon start feeling disaster fatigue. And for so many in so many parts of this state, a full recovery is still months away. Katrina laid claim to some portion of all 3 coastal counties. Thousands of families are homeless.
Look, I mean, there's nothing to say about it, but just look.
If you'd asked a couple of weeks ago, Florence Mathis would have said her family had it all. Katrina took much of it away. Their private world is in tatters, only faith holding them together.
That's all we can do is just tell the people to look and see what happened.
And to help?
Yes, please, please help.
All along the Mississippi coast, hospitals are reporting a surge in secondary illnesses like dysentery. Things that crop up when simple things like drinking water become hazardous to your health.
This place used to be a shelter. What happened?
We had some problems with children and some adults where they were running fevers, nausea, and some diarrhea. So they were taken to the hospital, and it was probably within about 14 hours that they went in and got everybody out.
330 in all. Families who lost everything were suddenly seeking shelter again. They're safely in Georgia this morning, but those left behind hope that they are not forgotten.
What's the message you guys want to get out?
Not to forget about us because we are here.
This morning, officials are actually asking Americans who want to help to donate through a recognized relief agency. They say all the Good Samaritans, though well-intended, are beginning to clog the roads and actually get in the way of the rescue efforts. Harry?
Cynthia Bowers live in Biloxi this morning. Thanks so much. Now here's Hannah with the rest of this morning's news.
Thanks, Harry. Chief Justice William Rehnquist will be buried Wednesday at Arlington National Cemetery, where his wife is buried. Beginning tomorrow, he'll lie in repose at the Supreme Court. The 80-year-old died Saturday after battling thyroid cancer. CBS News correspondent Jim Stewart takes a look back at his 33 years on the bench.
The Honorable William H. Rehnquist.
He was last seen by the general public at President Bush's second swearing-in. It was a role he cherished and one his colleagues appreciated. Momentous occasions, after all, were William H. Rehnquist's stock in trade. Who can forget his solemnity, for example, at President Clinton's impeachment trial?
And he hereby is acquitted of the charges in the said articles.
Or his bland announcement of the most divisive case of his tenure.
We'll hear argument now on number 00949, George W. Bush and Richard Cheney versus Albert Gore.
But in his 19 years as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, William H. Rehnquist's legacy extends far beyond the headline cases. He oversaw a fundamental rollback of liberal causes and championed a far more conservative agenda for America. Under Rehnquist, criminals found it harder to get multiple appeals in federal court. The line between church and state became more porous. Affirmative action became more difficult to implement, and the states gained more power. A Wisconsin native who served in the Army Air Corps during World War II, Rehnquist was plucked from obscurity in 1969 by President Nixon to be Assistant Attorney General. Just 2 years later, his colleagues learned he'd been elevated again, this time to Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, and from the beginning, he was a man of few words for the press.
Will you answer some questions? No, I'd rather not. Thanks.
Rehnquist's conservative ways on the court later caught the eye of Mr. Conservative himself, who elevated Rehnquist to Chief Justice. His last years were not comfortable ones on the court, however. Physically, in addition to his battle with cancer, Rehnquist was hobbled by a bad back, and professionally he chafed that he had never been able to outlaw abortion.
I think he'd look back and say his greatest disappointment was his inability to lead the court to overrule Roe and Wade.
A case that Rehnquist trained his eyes on for years and one his successor is almost certain to confront. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
For more on the search for a successor, CBS News national political correspondent Gloria Borger joins us live from Washington. Good morning, Gloria.
Good morning, Hannah.
Well, we were sitting here on the eve of the John Roberts confirmation hearings. Are those going to be delayed now?
I think it looks like they'll be delayed anywhere from a couple of days to a week, but it's very clear that Republicans want to get these hearings going. It's the Democrats who would rather have the hearings delayed as long as they possibly could.
Let's just talk about the climate there on Capitol Hill right now. The president already had these very low approval ratings from the war in Iraq and the gas prices, and that was prior to all of this intense ongoing criticism about the government's response to Hurricane Katrina. Can he really afford a controversial nominee?
I think at this point the conventional wisdom would be that no, that he could not afford a controversial nominee. But in speaking to Republicans last night, they reminded me that this is a president who believes that the Supreme Court will be part of his conservative legacy and that he won't shy away from controversy. The easiest thing would be, of course, would be to say that Justice John Roberts nominate him for Chief Justice because he hasn't had much opposition and looks like he'll get through the Congress, but we don't know whether he's going to do that.
And some have suggested that Sandra Day O'Connor stay on as well.
Well, the Democrats have suggested that. The Republicans I speak with say that's absolutely not a possibility. They do not want her to ascend to the Chief Justice's job. They'd like her to leave as soon as possible. She wants to leave and take care of her sick husband.
We saw the members of the administration fanning out along the Gulf Coast yesterday. Is this an administration in crisis at this point?
Totally, absolutely. I think that this week is going to be remembered perhaps as the worst week of the Bush presidency. They were clearly caught off guard. Everybody is criticizing this administration. Even those quarters that they usually depend on, conservatives are just as critical as Democrats. Now he's got the Supreme Court controversy. That's why he's going back down south today. He's got to show that he cares.
All right, CBS's Gloria Borger in Washington. Thank you. In Indonesia, a passenger jet has crashed in a crowded residential area. The death toll is more than 130 people, including victims on the ground. Only 15 passengers on the plane survived. The plane crashed just after takeoff. Dave Price is on assignment, so Pamela Wright from our Miami station, WFOR, has our first check of the weather. Good morning, Pam.
Hi there, Hannah. It is a holiday for a lot of the rest of the country and sort of a bummer at the beach along the East Coast. From the Carolinas down to the Keys, really windy and really wet across South Florida. Hot stuff, summer won't let go across the northern plains, even parts of the Dakotas into the 90s. So that's your national weather. We'll take a look now at what's going on in your area.
Well, thanks so much, Pamela, and good Monday morning to you. We have had some on and off showers out there on this early Labor Day morning, and we expect those to continue through the day. It is also going to be kind of coolish and breezy for this time of the year. We'll top out near 87. Not a complete wash, as we will have at least a few rays of sunshine here and there. And then Tuesday, storms likely again, breezy and coolish, I must stress, relative to where we normally are in early September. And then Wednesday, things heating back up again with a few breezy storms, sun and storms to round out the work week.
That's your latest weather. We'll go back now to Hannah and Harry.
All right, thanks very much, Pam. Tell you what, the mayor of New Orleans, when he saw General Honore arrive down there over the weekend, he said this was like John Wayne coming to the rescue. He said this general started cussing at everybody and said all of a sudden stuff started moving. We're going to talk to the man in charge of the massive National Guard response in just a couple
That's
minutes.
what they really needed, is some very strong leadership there, right? And coming up in our next half hour, also Dr. Phil McGraw talking to the evacuees yesterday at the Astrodome, how he's helping them deal with all of this range of emotion. This is The Early Show on CBS.
Introducing the new steak and cheddar breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts.
Good morning, class. My name is Mr. Sweeney, and I'll be your substitute teacher.
Made with scrambled egg, delicious new steak, and real cheddar cheese. It's great when you need a little something extra. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back. Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and enjoy a cup of the best coffee in America with your breakfast sandwich today.
The devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the chaos, the confusion. Now hear the stories of hope amidst the horror and see how you can help on The Early Show.
So, Doc, let's see what you can do for this poor seasonal allergy sufferer.
You're really miserable.
I've tried these. They only last about 6 hours. And all of these make me drowsy.
I think this will help.
Allegra 180, long-lasting and non-drowsy.
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness, but Allegra 180 can.
Allegra lasts the whole day and night.
For people 12 and over, side effects alone may include headache, cold, or backache.
I'll take Allegra any day.
Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
Bathroom is still life? How about bathroom as real life? Moen. Buy it for looks, buy it for life.
LensCrafters gives you an unconditional happiness guarantee. 30 days to wear your new glasses. Decide if you love them or exchange them till you do. Or your money back. LensCrafters. You'll see. We're better. And get $100 off any glasses.
Hey, Dad, what are you doing?
Making a little snack. Come on, plenty of room.
How come you fold yours over like that?
I don't know. I guess it's because that's the way my dad used to do it, and I always wanted to do everything just like him.
That's silly.
It's more than just that great peanut taste. Choosing Jif is a small, simple way of letting someone know you care. Choosing moms and dads, choose Jif.
People think scientists get inspired by only abstract things. Well, I have Sarah. Sarah was born with HIV. Drug discovery is complex. It takes thousands of scientists, 14, maybe 15 years to develop just one pill. That adds up to about $800 million. It's taken 20 years, but we've gone a long way toward eliminating HIV in children. I can't think of a better way the money could have been spent, or my life.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
Welcome back to the CBS Early Show. I'm Hannah Storm. Ahead on Health Watch, we'll talk to one of the doctors who has helped turn the airport terminal into a hospital triage unit in New Orleans to help the thousands of hurricane victims there. But first, here's Harry.
Thanks, Hannah. Some 40,000 National Guard troops have now been deployed to the Gulf Coast region. A large number of them are in New Orleans, helping to keep the peace and provide relief. A Louisiana native, Lieutenant General Russell Honore, is now in charge of the frontline effort. He joins us from Camp Shelby in Mississippi. General, good morning.
Good morning.
What's the biggest problem you're facing this morning?
Search and rescue and the enormity of the disaster that has destroyed much of the Mississippi coast, still have Mobile without power, and the flooding in New Orleans that has caused the evacuation of the majority of the city. Those are the challenges we face over.
As you have had the opportunity then to look through this, this zone where the storm hit, what's your own personal reaction?
Well, it's one of seeing something that I thought I would never see in my lifetime, a disaster of biblical proportion having such an impact on our nation and on our people that bring us to reflect on something I see in the eyes of those that, as we rescue them, one of being glad to be alive, and two, we will continue our mission of trying to focus on doing search and rescue with the hope that we still find those that we have not made contact with. We've done continuous area surveillance, and we're still finding people coming out of the top of buildings. Yeah. We will continue to do that over and over
until you're successful. Do you feel like the area there is secure now? Because as recently as yesterday, you had snipers shooting at New Orleans police. They ended up having to kill some of these people. Is it secure there now?
Well, you know, I was talking to the mayor last night, and a few hours after this was reported, and as well as to people in the police department. And I think there still has to be collaborated on what happened at that incident. But I drive all over New Orleans. Our troops are out there operating. They're doing their job. And I think the city is a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place because it's flooded. There's a lot of toxicity that's possible from that standing water and things that's coming out of the buildings. But I think that's the primary danger. I fear no danger from people in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I think we need to focus that this is not a city under siege, as it appears sometime, as I've seen it portrayed and heard other people tell me. I don't get to watch much news.
All right. General, thank you very much for your time this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Now here's Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Harry. Still ahead, Dr. Phil McGraw talks all about his Texas town meeting. He met with evacuees at the Astrodome, and the emotional and psychological implications of this disaster are something that will play out for years to come. Dr. Phil tells us what he heard from the victims of Hurricane Katrina after these messages in your local news.
This portion of the early show sponsored by Lowe's. With Lowe's Installed Services, get 100% guaranteed installation from professionals who are licensed and fully insured.
This Labor Day weekend, hurry to Lowe's for great values. Now save $20 on every 5-gallon can and $5 on every 1-gallon can of our best quality paint. Also, get a free carpet pad when you buy any carpet with installation. What's more, use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 12 months on all purchases of $299 or more. You see, nobody works harder to save you money every day. That's our promise. So this Labor Day weekend, hurry to Lowe's for great values.
New Promise Buttery Spread helps maintain a healthy heart when eaten instead of butter or margarine. And now it's rich with heart health essentials like omega-3 and vitamins B6 and 12. Plus, there's no trans fat and lots of creamy, buttery taste. In fact, it's our healthiest and tastiest buttery spread yet. No wonder hearts are beating louder. New Promise Buttery Spread, taking your health to heart.
Instant Age Rewind Foundation by Maybelline, New York. Makeup that makes you look years younger, like that. Firms instantly. It's got caffeine in it. Wakes your skin right up. Makes you look years younger, like that. Instant Age Rewind.
Julie, will you take me to Outback for their new Heart of Gold Bronze filet with sauteed artichokes, sun-dried tomatoes, and a light lemon Alfredo sauce?
Yes, I will.
Try something bold. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
You take care of him.
Now you can reward yourself with delicious latte creations. Something decidedly different from Coffee Mate that turns coffee into a frothy and well-deserved latte.
You're welcome. Love you too.
Nestle Coffee Mate Latte Creations. Coffee's most rewarding perfect mate.
Thank you, Bob. That was extraordinarily enlightening. And now I am honored to present our next speaker. She is a real class act, insightful, tenacious, and authority on our business. It is my privilege to introduce this special lady, Catherine Nolan.
New Tide to Go. It's Tide to the rescue.
Right on time? Yeah, time to choose a seasonal allergy medicine.
Pick one of those. You could be suffering in 6 hours.
Allegra 180 works 4 times longer.
Why do I even carry those others? One dose of most OTC allergy medicines may not last as long as you want, but just one Allegra 180 lasts up to 4 times longer than one dose of most OTC allergy medicines.
Allegra works all day, and it's gonna work all night.
For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or backache. I'll take Allegra any day. Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News This Morning.
And good morning to you, South Florida. Good to be with you as always this morning. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Angela Ray, and for Susan Barnett, here's a look at what's making news this morning.
South Florida is expected to take in more evacuees needing medical attention. Dozens arrived in over the weekend at the Opa-locka Airport, and some were carried off the plane on stretchers. The Miami VA Medical Center transferred the patients to several area hospitals prepared to care for their medical issues. The Miami Children's Hospital will help with the care and treatment of incoming children. Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx hosted a Hurricane Katrina relief benefit on South Beach last night. Fox's Miami Vice co-star Colin Farrell was also on hand, along with City of Miami's Police Chief John Timoney, to take part in the highly anticipated auction portion of the event. The $200 a person donation benefited the American Red Cross. And on this Labor Day, local beachgoers should be aware of the possibility of rip currents around South Florida's shores. Officials say if you're planning on making it out to the waters this holiday, make sure that you never swim alone. And if caught in a current, stay calm. Don't fight that current. Swim along the shoreline until you're out of it, and swim at an angle until you reach the shore. For more on those stories, be sure to watch CBS 4 News at noon. Now, let's get a live update on traffic, and for that, we turn things over to Erica Del Sordo. Erica.
Well, good morning. Things are looking good this Labor Day morning on the roadways with a lot of people at home from work or school. Lucky you. Right now, the Snapper Creek Expressway westbound where it meets up with Galloway Road. We have a wreck blocking a lane of traffic. Look out for that. Now, the Palmetto Expressway, as you know, it's a great morning on the roadways when you can see pavement on the Palmetto Expressway. It's about a 25-minute ride on the 826 between US 1 and the Golden Glades. Now, Broward County, a wreck that occurred on the Turnpike southbound at Griffin Road is in the clearing stages. 595 westbound before Flamingo Road, a wreck wrapping up on the shoulder with a new crash to watch out for on I-95 southbound at Atlantic Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by Sears. I'm Erica Del Sordo. Now over to Elizabeth with a look at the weather.
Well, thanks so much, Erica, and good Monday morning to you. Happy Labor Day, by the way. As Erica pointed out, it is nice to see pavement out there. It's the little things in life, isn't it? But you may run into a few damp spots. We did have some showers in and out of Broward and Miami-Dade County earlier this morning. Most of that has dried up. You will notice just a couple of batches out here in the western Atlantic, and they could just kind of clip you folks in Homestead and maybe even as far northward as Cutler Ridge. But the bulk of the rain has been down in the lower Keys, south of Marathon, across the 7-mile bridge down to Key West. It's coming down pretty steady, and as the rain moves down to the south, we will continue to see some showers. The good news is that the temperatures are actually pretty comfortable out there this morning. 76 in West Kendall. Pretty much everybody else reporting in with mid and upper 70s, and we will actually be a little bit below normal for our afternoon highs today. However, we're concerned with a few things. Number one, an area of low pressure sitting just off our coastline here over the northern Bahamas. That has the potential to develop in the next couple of days. We're also watching this, which could in fact become a depression. And then this is Hurricane Maria. Thank goodness Maria is well to the east of Bermuda, so it doesn't pose a threat to any land, but a pretty significant hurricane with winds up to 90 miles per hour. So again, we're watching this area of low pressure It could become tropical depression number 15 or 16, depending on how things happen. We will have limited sunshine today, and we expect to see a storm at any time, so not the best beach day. We're also going to have a moderate risk of rip currents, so please be careful if your Labor Day plans take you out to the beach. As you head back to work tomorrow, still stormy with potentially some heavy rain. So today, storms likely, kind of coolish and breezy for this time of the year. We'll top out near 87, and we stay cool until you head back to work. Have a good one.
This past summer was busy and fun, but back to school means back to you. Now that the kids are in school again, tackle your weight loss goals this fall with 3 a day of dairy. Research indicates that including 3 servings of milk, cheese, or yogurt in a reduced calorie weight loss plan can burn more fat and help you lose more weight than by just cutting calories alone. Treat yourself right and take care of your health with 3 a day.
Sponsored by Dairy Farmers Incorporated. Got milk?
$10,000 minimum for any trade at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek. During the Labor Day blowout, it's going on now until this Monday at midnight. Fairbanks is guaranteeing you $10,000 minimum for any trade-in. And exclusive of that, get employee pricing on every Dodge Magnum, Durango, Caravan, and truck, every Dodge Charger, and every other Dodge in stock. But the $10,000 minimum trade deadline is midnight Labor Day at Fairbanks Dodge in Coconut Creek.
Our crews are live on the Gulf Coast after Katrina. For continuing coverage, keep it on 4.
This is what's left of the convention center. The stench in here is still unbearable. You can see all the trash around. The restrooms are right over there, and they're just overflowing with waste. I knew a family of 6 that lived right over in this corner over here. A mom, a dad, 2 young boys, and their 2 elderly parents. And they stayed in this filth for 6 days.
And that is our Tracy Smith. She's been in and around New Orleans around the clock since Hurricane Katrina hit, and walking around this convention center, and just look at this. That was a scene of such fear and despair for so many families and thousands of people calling that place home until thankfully they were finally evacuated from that horrible place. So you referred to New Orleans on more than one occasion, Harry, as a hellhole.
Yeah, without question. And of course now, you know, these people have been delivered from hell, and now they're in a kind of a purgatory of an unknown future for hundreds of thousands of people. A lot more coming up here in a bit. We're going to talk to Dr. Phil McGraw, who's trying to help some of those people left homeless by Katrina cope with the incredible emotional strain.
And also ahead on Health Watch, we're going to check in this morning with one of the doctors who has been giving aid to this sea of people at the makeshift MASH unit that's been set up at the airport in New Orleans. That's a remarkable scene there.
First, though, former Presidents Bush and Clinton are teaming up again, this time to raise money to help hurricane victims. They'll appear in Houston today. That's where CBS News correspondent Trish Regan is this morning. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning, Harry. That's correct. Former Presidents Bush and Clinton will be here in just a matter of hours. They will be speaking about their efforts to raise money for the victims of Hurricane Katrina. This is something they did after the tsunami, and they're doing it again.
We're asking people in the short run to support the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, the Catholic Relief Charities, and the others. And what we want to do is to work with individuals, small business, big businesses, to help over the long run to keep anybody from falling between the cracks. This thing's going to take a long time to recover from.
The governors are each setting up a fund. We got the names: the Alabama Governor's Emergency Relief Fund, Louisiana Recovery Fund, Mississippi Hurricane Relief Fund. And we will be encouraging people to give to those funds, feeling that the governors, their staffs, very close to the problem, will know best how to spend the money. We still want to see.
The majority of victims are right here in the state of Texas. The Houston Astrodome is serving as the primary shelter for them, with more than 17,000 there. There are also 97 shelters throughout the state. An estimated 250,000 people have come to Texas, and the governor is now saying the state cannot handle any more. Harry?
Trish Regan, good job down there. Thanks so much, live in Houston at the Astrodome. Dave Price is on assignment, so Pamela Wright from our Miami station, WFOR, has a holiday check of the weather. Good morning, Pam.
Hi there, good morning. And you know what? Going to the beach on this Labor Day along the southeastern coast of the U.S. might be a little more work than you want. Strong breezes, windy and wet across South Florida, and dangerous rip currents also an issue there. So stay close to a lifeguard if you can. Across the country, it's certainly going to be warm enough to get outside, especially despite afternoon storms getting into the 80s and 90s across the northern plains. another big high-pressure system. So from the UP of Michigan to upstate New York, that would be. Things will be great. That's the big picture. Here's what's going on in your area.
Well, good morning to you, Pamela, and happy Labor Day, everyone. It's a little damp out there this morning as we have had a few rounds of showers, and we expect to see a few more of those through the day. The nice breeze that we saw set up over the weekend will continue. We'll top out near 87, a little cooler than normal for early September. And then Tuesday, as you head back to work or school, storms likely, breezy and coolish again with a high near 88. We will have a little more sun for the rest of the work week. Couple of breezy storms on Wednesday. Temperatures pop back up to near 90 through the end of the work week. Have a good one.
Your latest weather. We'll go back now to Hannah.
Thanks, Pamela. Tens of thousands needed to be evacuated in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, but nearly 1 million people left their homes before the hurricane hit, expecting to return after a few days. As we know now, that isn't possible for quite some time. Early Show correspondent Melinda Murphy is in Baton Rouge with a story of 2 New Orleans families starting anew.
We really thought that one bag, 2-3 days, back home, sweeping up, we're done.
At first, Michelle Treen and her family were relieved. They'd escaped before Katrina ripped through New Orleans, their home. Then they saw the images.
It's not just electricity gone, not just plumbing gone, it's lives, it's jobs, it's businesses.
You look at each other and you go, oh my God, you know, what's going on? And reality slowly creeps in, and it just wells up in you, and then you function, because that's what parents do.
So they're starting to rebuild their lives in Baton Rouge.
You have to find a school, you have to find housing.
Across town, the Wood family is concerned about the same thing. For now, they're holed up in a friend's 2-bedroom apartment.
Is this all you've got?
Yeah, we had to buy some stuff like socks and clothes and lots of stuff and shoes.
We're trying very hard to get them into school so that we can kind of start a new routine for them here in Baton Rouge.
Well, it's so overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming, very stressful.
Because so many displaced kids need a school here, children had to take placement tests.
You got a new school.
That's good.
A relief for Lewis, a senior and captain of his football team. Playing this year is key to nabbing a college scholarship.
I was being recruited by Naval Academy, Lehigh University, Dartmouth.
Before Katrina, Allie was excited to start her freshman year with lifelong friends. Now that's changed.
Having friends spread across the country is probably the worst part of it all. Just not knowing where they're going to school or anything, not knowing where I'm going to school.
Another priority, work. David is a surgeon with a 16-year practice. He started networking over the weekend.
Oh man, sight for sore eyes.
And he's torn between being there for his family as well as the many in need. So he volunteered at this makeshift hospital.
Yes, we're displaced. Yes, we don't know what our future holds, but at least I'm not on the cot under the tent.
Michael is now a teacher and hopes to substitute. Wendy wants to go back to the office she runs. But even with jobs, money will be tight. So Michael visited the Red Cross to see if they could help. They couldn't.
Right now, we are still focusing on the basic human necessities.
Though worried about their homes, both families realize so many others are in dire need.
For me personally, I feel guilty that we're not in that situation.
But the fact remains, the Woods need a place to live. So in a town that has doubled in size overnight, they began looking for a home.
I'll tell you what we could do. I can put you on a list.
As for the Treens, they're with friends and family. Future plans are uncertain.
I can't afford to buy another house. I got a house in New Orleans that I'm paying a note on, and so I don't know where we're going to go.
But they know they're the lucky ones, and their faith and family will see them through.
I want people to know that for every horrible story that you hear, there's thousands of other stories of how the goodness of people have opened their hearts and homes during this horrible time.
For The Early Show, Melinda Murphy, CBS News, Baton Rouge.
By the way, Melinda is with the Woods family this morning as they try to make their way back into New Orleans, so she's going to continue to report on the progress of this one family. Up next, Dr. Phil McGraw tells us what he's doing to provide emotional support for the hundreds of thousands left homeless by Katrina. This is The Early Show on CBS.
Urgent. Employee pricing plus. Save up to $82.83 on Grand Cherokee.
Save up to $56.55 on Jeep Liberty. Employee pricing plus at Dade Jeep Chrysler. Southwest 158th Street and US 1.
Sell your house in 24 hours. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Do no repairs. Pay no commissions. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Get an offer on your house now. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT. Have your cake and eat it too. Call 1-800-NO-AGENT.
For all the extra hours you dedicate to your students, we think you deserve some extra credit. TIAA CREF, serving the retirement needs of those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields. Visit us online to find out how we can serve you. TIAA CREF, financial services for the greater good.
I'm Larry Coulter of the Mighty Hurricanes. Unfortunately, another hurricane season is rapidly approaching, so we need to be prepared. Hearst Shutter Company is the nation's oldest and largest hurricane shutter manufacturer and has been family-owned since 1957. Hearst produces all of its hurricane products right here in their modern 60,000 square foot factory. Ask for Hearst products by name and use only licensed and insured companies and contractors. So take it from someone who knows a thing or two about hurricanes. Choose Hearst first.
Nobody can do what Maaco does. Maaco can repaint your entire car fast. In most cases, just a few days. Our economical ambassador paint service is only $229. Make it easy, make it right, make it Maaco.
Seasonal allergies are a fact of life, but symptoms can be controlled.
Hi, I'm Darrell Savoni, your Publix pharmacist. Knowing when and how to treat your allergies is essential to feeling your best.
Claritin allergy products provide effective non-drowsy relief for those who suffer from allergies. For long-lasting relief from your worst congestion, sinus pressure, and itchy, watery eyes without getting drowsy, try Claritin D.
Look for non-drowsy Claritin D at your local Publix and take control of your allergies.
Live Claritin Clear. It's kickoff time. CBS 4 and BrandSmart USA have a chillin' and grillin' promotion just for you. Visit participating BrandSmart USA locations for a chance to chill out at Miami versus Kansas City and score big with family and friends the rest of the season with a brand new grill. Brought to you by BrandSmart USA and CBS 4.
You can bet emotions are pretty raw for the folks displaced by Hurricane Katrina. So America's therapist, Dr. Phil McGraw, traveled to Texas to try and offer evacuees some comfort. He held a town hall meeting at the Astrodome in Houston to discuss their concerns. And today, he's in Dallas at an evacuation center set up at Reunion Arena. Dr. Phil, good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
As you have talked to these folks, met these folks, heard their concerns, heard their pain, what's the primary thing you're finding down there?
Well, Harry, these folks are clearly in tremendous despair. That doesn't mean that their spirit's not holding strong, because it is, but I think the thing that probably has gripped me the most as I've been in the trenches with these folks is not the living conditions, not that they've been reduced to a 2-foot by 6-foot cot on an arena or convention floor, but the fact that they lack information. The system hasn't caught up with them yet, and so they just simply don't know where other family members are. They don't know if they've been lost in the flood. They don't know if they've been sent to another center. They just don't know what's happened, and it's that not knowing that is so, so tough.
The stress, I mean, we look at the pictures, we hear the stories, but to be inside the body of a human being who is experiencing that kind of stress is just phenomenal.
Well, Harry, you just can't imagine, and I know I can't imagine, but as I sit and talk with these people, I'm so aware that they have seen horrifying things. So many are still in shock, you know, kind of moving around almost on autopilot as they go through their day. But so many of them, I talked to women that spent 7 hours in floodwaters up to their neck, just wondering how much more it was going to go up, to those that have had, you know, bodies that are floating by. It's just been such a trauma for them, and now they're left with hours and hours to think about that and have it going through their minds.
I guess the other thing that occurred to me over the weekend is, assume you don't have family or friends somewhere in some other part of the country who are willing to take you in. You know, say you're a family of 5. The future that you're confronted with in a shelter or hundreds of miles away from home that's not much future at all, really.
Well, Harry, it's really not. And I think what we're facing with the Katrina disaster is so many times you and I have both dealt with disasters where people have been displaced for a couple of weeks and then they go back in and start the cleanup. This is a situation where these people, so many of them, are not going home. They have no home to go to. Probably 80% of the people that we talked to in Houston yesterday, for example, say they have no plans to go home, that they're having to start their life all over again. Yesterday, we were in Dallas in the morning. We went to Houston in the afternoon. We were back here last night working with evacuees until past midnight, and we're up now early this morning. And we're seeing vans from churches in the middle part of Louisiana and here in Texas pulling up and unloading elderly to the shelter here, and they will probably never see family or anything called home again.
What do they need? Is there a way? Because as we all sit here, we look at these images and we see this kind of, all of this pain and all of this torment, and folks on our end are saying, well, how can we meet their needs? What do they need? What can we do?
Well, Harry, I'm glad you asked that question. Most of the shelters right now, including Reunion Arena, where I'm standing this morning, have big signs that say no donations being accepted right now in terms of food and clothing. Not because these people aren't going to have major long-term needs, but right now we have more of that than can be distributed at this point. What the Red Cross needs is money. They need money because there's so much need for medical care and longer-term housing and trying to get these people transported around and reunite these families. Wow. The main thing right now, if people can just give, even if it's $1 or $2 or $5 or $10 or as much as they can possibly give to the American Red Cross, it's getting to the evacuees.
Dr. Phil McGraw, thanks so much for your help this morning, and thanks for your insight. We do appreciate it, sir. Take care.
Thank you, Harry.
You bet.
$99 a month! Make the smart move and buy a new 05 Suzuki Forenza with more room than Ford Focus from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Suzuki, Northwest 36th Street and 27th Avenue, just 10 blocks east of the airport.
I'm Alev Tuju, your Publix pharmacist. Managing cholesterol and osteoporosis, exercising regularly, and eating right are important steps for every woman to take.
To learn more about women's health issues, join us for CBS 4's Health Watch on Women's Wellness, Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6:30. Our panel of healthcare professionals will be on hand to answer all of your questions and concerns. And be sure to walk with us at the 2005 Miami-Dade County Heart Walk on Saturday, September 17th at Peacock Park in Coconut Grove.
Treat yourself right and take care of your health.
$99 a month! Buy a brand new 05 Mitsubishi Lancer from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Mitsubishi in Miami, Northwest 36th Street and 29th Avenue. And Davey Mitsubishi, 5395 South University Drive.
The devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the chaos, the confusion. Now hear the stories of hope amidst the horror and see how you can help on The Early Show.
LensCrafters gives you an unconditional happiness guarantee. 30 days to wear your new glasses. Decide if you love them or exchange them till you do. Or your money back. LensCrafters. You'll see. We're better. And get $100 off any glasses.
Where did I get this glow? In Bermuda? Or from a wild fling? With a moisturizer. New Jergens Natural Glow. Moisturize daily to keep your healthy summer glow all year long. Jergens glowing skin is in. Are you listening to your heart? You should. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Do something good for your heart. Smart Start Healthy Heart. The only national cold cereal with ingredients that may help lower both blood pressure and cholesterol as part of a healthy lifestyle. For a healthy heart, start here.
Introducing the 2006 Impala. Available with the powerful 303 horsepower small block V8. It's a whole new animal. Chevy Impala, an American revolution.
This week, CBS Daytime will leave you breathless.
So what is it that you want from me?
Passion leads to pain.
Our chance is now.
You are going to be married to my daughter.
And deception.
Come on, Gwen. Take the bait.
Leads to devastation.
If I lost my baby, don't you think I would know it?
This week on CBS Daytime, nobody does drama better.
The Early Show continues now from the General Motors building in New York City.
In New Orleans, hundreds of people remain at the airport-turned-MASH unit. The makeshift triage unit has treated some 5,000 people over the last few days, and at least 30 people have died there, too. Dr. Eric Larson is with FEMA's National Disaster Medical System. He joins us there from the airport in Kenner. Good morning, Dr. Larson.
Good morning.
How many people do you have at the airport right now? Thanks.
Well, we have in the various DMAT, disaster medical assistance teams, we have probably about 300 personnel here.
Have all of the critically ill been moved out?
Yes, all the critically ill patients have been moved out. We are still getting some patients, but it is now down to a very small trickle.
Can you tell me what kinds of injuries and illness that you're seeing come in? Because as we know, people still this morning are being rescued off of rooftops and shattered highways, and some even plucked from trees. What kinds of things are you seeing today?
Well, we're seeing a range of injuries. We're seeing a lot of dehydration. We're seeing people who have not had food for days. One of the things is that earlier on we were seeing a lot of patients that were coming out of nursing homes, coming from hospitals that had lost all their capabilities, and what we were trying to do is take care of these patients that were sick already in the various hospitals.
Can you just give us a sense of, because you have all these people coming in, they're being flown out all over the country. I know some people came with medical charts, but do some of these people even have ID? Do you know who they are? Do they know where they're going? Do their families even know where they're going?
No, I mean, it was a very chaotic situation in that we had patients who are not identified. Our priority was just to try to treat these people, stabilize them, provide some kind of medical treatment for a medical system that had collapsed because of the hurricane. All the normal hospitals were devastated, and nursing homes, people who got regular care at other facilities, that wasn't happening, and we were trying to do the best we could to take care of them. We saw probably 4,000 to 5,000 patients coming through here as thousands of evacuees came through here. We triaged them, pulled them out of the evacuation lines as they were being unloaded from these helicopters, and tried to treat them, stabilize them, and then get them on any kind of transportation that we could out of here to other hospitals that could take better care of them outside the disaster area.
I know there are a lot of health concerns that remain, and we do have some reports from Mississippi of dysentery there. Have you seen any illnesses as a result of the terrible health conditions right now in the area?
Well, we have not seen anything directly related to such as things as dysentery. We certainly saw a lot of older people, people with medical conditions who were dehydrated, overheated, hadn't eaten and hadn't had anything to drink for days, hadn't had their regular medications for days, and certainly severely compromised their health. But we have not seen anything like dysentery or those type of things as of yet.
No outbreak of disease. That's good news. Dr. Eric Larson, thanks. I know you're stretched to the limit. Thanks for all your hard work.
Okay, thank you.
You're watching The Early Show on CBS.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Egg Beaters. Enjoy the great taste of eggs you love whenever you like.
Morning after morning, day after day. Enjoy eggs you love whenever you like with Egg Beaters.
The beat goes on.
Egg Beaters eggs are real eggs with the great taste and protein of eggs in the shell without all the fat and calories. So that eggs aren't just for now and then. They're for now and then, and then, and then.
The beat goes on. The beat goes on.
Egg Beaters. Eggs you love whenever you like.
Completing chores effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale.
Looking great effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Entertaining friends and family effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Rolling back into work effortlessly after the long weekend's over. Also on sale. Labor Day has never been easier. The Labor Day sale at Sears. Through Tuesday. Sears.
Coming up, a story of kindness as we meet a woman who helped put a roof over the heads of 80 family members displaced by Hurricane Katrina.
It's a great story. And we're going to hear from Ellen DeGeneres talking about her family and the concerns that they have about Katrina after these messages and your local news.
Recent studies suggest that the calcium and nutrients in milk may help you lose more weight and burn more fat when dieting. So drink 24 ounces of low-fat or fat-free milk every 24 hours as part of your reduced calorie diet. Just one more reason milk is good for you. Milk your diet. Lose weight. For more about the science, visit 2424milk.com.
Take the bread out of the oven! Get it out, get it out! Keep it out. Somebody, I got it! Table 16, take out! I got scramblets, I got
Swordfish. Thanks, sweetie.
Delicious rice in 90 seconds. Ready Rice. Bring more to the table with Uncle Ben's.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
Well, good Monday morning to you and happy Labor Day. We will have a traffic report for you coming up in, about 30 minutes or so, but I'm sure you're interested in this holiday weather. We're looking pretty decent out there. We had some rain showers earlier throughout Miami-Dade and Broward. They have since dried up, but you folks in the lower Keys have really been drenched this morning. Showers coming down steadily from Marathon across the 7-mile bridge down into Big Pine Key, Key West, and because the winds are generally out of the north and northeast this morning, this big batch of rain sitting up to your north and west is going to be moving southward and will be on you within the next several minutes. So that's what you're dealing with down in the lower Keys, but elsewhere we have some hazy sunshine out there. The numbers are actually looking pretty good. We were cooler yesterday. We topped out at 87, and everybody is in the 70s on this September morning, so a bit of refreshment there. Humidity still running very high, but we're at a comfy 76 in West Kendall, 76 in Pembroke Pines, and our cool spot is up in northwest Fort Lauderdale where we are 75. So we're talking about a whole lot of stuff going on out in the tropics. Of course, the first to middle part of September is typically the most active part of the tropical season. You'll notice here a little bit of spin in the atmosphere and some thunderstorms flaring up. That is just off to our east. It's an area of low pressure. It is nearly stationary, but just kind of drifting down to the southwest. So it means two things today. It means that our wind flow is going to be pretty brisk coming in out of the northeast, and it also means we're going to have to watch that for some development. Here's another area of low pressure a couple hundred miles southwest of Bermuda, and that is Hurricane Maria headed out into the northern Atlantic. So Maria will not be bothering anyone. But again, we may have tropical depression number 15 and 16 here in the next couple of days. At any rate, limited sunshine on your Labor Day. Kind of coolish and breezy for this time of the year. We will top out near 87 and stay kind of cool through Tuesday. We're back up to 90 by the middle of the work week. Have a good one.
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592-FORD.
Introducing the new steak and cheddar breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts.
Good morning, class. My name is Mr. Sweeney, and I'll be your substitute teacher.
Made with scrambled egg, delicious new steak, and real cheddar cheese. It's great when you need a little something extra. Dunkin' Donuts. Bring yourself back. Stop by Dunkin' Donuts and enjoy a cup of the best coffee in America with your breakfast sandwich today.
It's simple. I shop Rooms to Go because they're honest, and they treat me like I'm intelligent. There's no pushy salesman breathing down my neck, no price games, and no fake sales. And Rooms to Go always has the furniture I want in stock. So when they say they deliver in days, Rooms to Go delivers. Great room packages, put together to the last detail, at the lowest prices anywhere. There's no hassle, no decorating runaround. Rooms to Go makes it easy. Just plain easy.
Subterranean termites cause billions of dollars in damage every year. Many companies only treat here, leaving the majority of your property unprotected. Truly Nolan's 3-zone protection plan provides the most technically advanced termite treatment. Zone 1 treats breaches in the interior. Zone 2 protects the entire foundation. Zone 3 covers additional areas conducive to termites. And this mouse backs it up with a million reasons. Only with Truly Nolan's 3-zone protection plan.
Boy, do I love getting taken for a ride. What I don't love is when the big guy gets taken for a ride on his auto insurance. That's where callinginsurance.com can help. With just one easy phone call to a knowledgeable, licensed rep, you can compare rates from top auto insurance companies, buy the policy that's right for you, and you could save hundreds. Compare, buy, save at insurance.com.
Call now and start saving now. 888-700-1466.
Want more morning news with half the commercials? Starting September 12th, that's just what you'll get from CBS 4 News.
Get more big news.
With less commercials.
More developing stories.
With less commercials.
More weather and traffic.
With less commercials.
More reports to keep you healthy and to help you save money, too.
Get more morning news with half the commercials.
And get more of the news you want right now.
Only on CBS 4 News this morning. Weekdays from 5 to 7, starting September 12th. Watch Hurricane 2005 in the path of Katrina. Today at 9 on CBS 4.
This is a special report from CBS News. I'm Harry Smith in New York. In just a couple of minutes, President Bush is scheduled to make remarks from the Oval Office. Presumably, we're hearing that he's going to talk about who might replace Chief Justice William Rehnquist, who passed away Saturday night. The speculation is that John Roberts, they may just try and go ahead and push him into the job of Chief Justice. He looks like a pretty confirmable candidate for the Supreme Court. Let's bring Gloria Borger in right now. We're looking at a picture from the White House right now. He's standing there with John Roberts. We're expecting to hear some commentary. Is that tape? That's tape. That's not live. All right. Let's get Gloria Borger up here this morning to talk a little bit more about that. Is that what you're hearing this is about this morning?
Yes, Harry. He is going to name John Roberts for Chief Justice. It's obviously a very easy decision for him to make. It's clear that John Roberts is confirmable. This may mean that we're going to witness a different kind of hearings, but that way he can get Judge Roberts into Judge Rehnquist's seat, and he can have a full court starting in October because Justice O'Connor has said she would not leave.
This summer, I announced the nomination of Judge John Roberts to be Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. I chose Judge Roberts from among the most distinguished jurists and attorneys in the country because he possesses the intellect, experience, and temperament to be an outstanding member of our nation's highest court. In the past 2 months, members of the United States Senate and the American people have learned about the career and character of Judge Roberts. They like what they see. He's a gentleman. He's a man of integrity and fairness. And throughout his life, he's inspired the respect and loyalty of others. John Roberts has built a record of excellence and achievement and a reputation for goodwill and decency toward others. In his extraordinary career, Judge Roberts has argued 39 cases before the nation's highest court. When I nominated him to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia, he was confirmed by unanimous consent. Both those who worked with him and those who have faced him in the courtroom speak with admiration of his striking ability as a lawyer and his natural gifts as a leader. Judge Roberts has earned the nation's confidence, and I'm pleased to announce that I will nominate him to serve as the 17th Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The passing of Chief Justice William Rehnquist leaves the center chair empty. just 4 weeks left before the Supreme Court reconvenes. It is in the interest of the court and the country to have a Chief Justice on the bench on the first full day of the fall term. The Senate is well along in the process of considering Judge Roberts' qualifications. They know his record and his fidelity to the law. I'm confident that the Senate can complete hearings and confirm him as Chief Justice within a month. As a result of my decision to nominate Judge Roberts to be Chief Justice, I also have the responsibility to submit a new nominee to follow Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. I will do so in a timely manner. 25 years ago, John Roberts came to Washington as a clerk to Justice William Rehnquist. In his boss, the young law clerk found a role model, a professional mentor, and a friend for life. I'm certain that Chief Justice Rehnquist is hoping to welcome John Roberts as a colleague. We're all sorry that day didn't come. Yet it's fitting that a great Chief Justice be followed in office by a person who shared his deep reverence for the Constitution, his profound respect for the Supreme Court, and his complete devotion to the cause of justice. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. I am honored and humbled by the confidence that the President has shown in me, and I'm very much aware that if I am confirmed, I would succeed a man I deeply respect and admire, a man who has been very kind to me for 25 years. Thank you, Mr. President, for that special opportunity. Thank you.
So there's the headline of the morning from the White House. The president nominating John Roberts as the next Chief Justice. Gloria Borgia with us in Washington this morning. Let's just talk about this real quickly. There is opposition to Roberts, but as we said just before we heard from the president, he is in fact confirmable, and this does in fact sort of solve two problems at once for the president, doesn't it, if he gets confirmed?
Absolutely, Harry. You know, this way, John Roberts can become Chief Justice. Justice O'Connor has said that she would remain on the court until a substitute was found. So hopefully, from the president's point of view, he can begin this session of the court with a full court. And then he will be looking to replace Justice O'Connor, who is a swing vote. And in replacing her, he might not have to look for such a controversial nominee. This is a president who doesn't need any more controversy at this point in his presidency.
Let me ask you this. This is a little inside baseball, but if you're sitting on the Supreme Court this morning and thinking maybe you were going to replace William Rehnquist, what are you thinking when you turn on the TV and see what the president did?
Well, I think maybe Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas are a little bit miffed because, of course, their names were raised as possibilities, but I think that they would really understand that this is a president who is not looking for controversy, and both of those gentlemen, no matter how qualified, would have caused a great deal of controversy that this White House does not want right now, and also the court wants to get going in early October as it's supposed to get going, and so I think they're going to have to understand that.
And the other thing, very quickly, is the fact is this man is very young. If confirmed, maybe would conceivably sit on the court for 30 or more years.
Yeah, 30 or more years. And also, he's young and he has experience as an administrator. The president called him a natural leader. This is a man who's liked by Democrats and Republicans. You have to be able to work with everybody on the court as the leader of the court, and I think he sees Roberts as someone who'll be able to do that, Harry.
Yeah, and the Democrats have a job in front of them to sort of get out of the way of this, I think, without causing their own controversy. Gloria, thank you so much, as always. We do appreciate your insight there. For the latest, we invite you to stay tuned to this CBS station, and we'll have more on the early show and on tonight's CBS Evening News. This has been a special report from CBS News. I'm Harry Smith in New York.
This has been a CBS News special report.
Science teacher, and last year she let us dissect a frog. Cool. I get a rabbit in
Let's
my
go,
homeroom.
kids.
That's so cool. I get a
Chris.
marker, more recess, go on 5.
Ready for school?
Good thing Walmart's got all the coolest clothes for back to school at their always low prices. So you can get your kids off to the right start.
Hey! Oh, come on!
We're having fun out in the sun. We're such a great team. Being a dad is awesome.
Dad, you're the greatest. Hey.
Wow, that looks cool.
What?
Make your ideal trip a reality on Expedia with extra savings when you book your flight and hotel together.
Expedia.com.
No matter how big your son gets, no matter how strong he gets, no matter how smart he gets, keep talking to him about not smoking. Because a part of him will always listen to his mom. Talk to your kids about not smoking. They'll listen. For conversation starters, log on to philipmorrisusa.com.
Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy.
Slim Fast Optima, granola bars, breakfast bars, shakes, designed with protein to help your tummy stay satisfied.
Morning, Cam. Morning, Bob. Good morning, Scott Tissue.
Scott Tissue's gone soft. With new Scott Extra Soft, it's softer and has as many sheets as 3 rolls of the competition. New Scott Extra Soft Tissue. Common sense on a roll.
The U.S. Open on CBS.
They're calling him the Seattle Strangler.
When physical evidence is not enough, the only way to catch a criminal is to think like one.
Don't be surprised to hear him speak with a severe stutter.
Having a nice day.
Presenting TV's next great thriller, Criminal Minds, special premiere September 22nd.
Well, you're over 50.
1 in 4 Americans has some form of heart disease. Hi, I'm CBS 4's Maggie Rodriguez. Many families have been affected by heart disease. That's why I urge you to join me at the 2005 Miami-Dade County Heart Walk on Saturday, September 17th at Peacock Park in Coconut Grove. Together, we can raise funds for life-saving heart and stroke research. For more information, call 305-856-1449 and help CBS 4 and the American Heart Association change tomorrow today.
While New Orleans is getting much of the media coverage for obvious reasons, there are plenty of areas up and down the Gulf Coast that are also suffering big time. Early show national correspondent Tracy Smith got a bird's-eye view of one of the hard-hit places. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning, Harry. As you said, while New Orleans is a scene of devastation, there are other parts of this area that may be worse off. Plaquemine Parish is a peninsula south of New Orleans, which took a direct hit from Katrina. Most of it is still inaccessible by car, so to get there, you have to go in by boat or by helicopter, and that's how I saw it with the sheriff this weekend.
When you look at Plaquemine Parish from the air, one thought comes to mind.
It looks like a bomb went off.
Sheriff Jeff Hingle estimates 95% of the homes on the hardest hit side of his parish were destroyed, leaving 15,000 people homeless.
You encouraged people to evacuate, tried to get them out.
Over and over and over.
Thankfully, most of them listened, but some stayed, and hundreds had to be rescued. Now the parish has to take care of them.
Smells good, gentlemen.
Nobody else is getting this, and we're not getting this from the federal government. We're providing this ourselves.
Instead of waiting for any of the national agencies, Sheriff Hingle did something else.
We kicked the doors in and cleaned the shelves out and the freezers out.
He took food and supplies from local businesses. He calls it commandeering, and is now feeding hot meals to parish workers and homeless citizens.
What do you think would have happened if you just would have waited for some sort of federal aid to come in?
We would have died.
You really think so?
Oh, if you have no food, no water, what happens to you?
FEMA eventually sent water and ice, but the sheriff says it was too late.
There may be emergency, there may be federal, there may be an agency, but I do not see any management.
Fed up with the feds, Sheriff Hingle essentially closed off his town to outsiders, setting up a roadblock maze at the entrance to his Peninsula parish, greeting buses full of people with guns, including evacuees from New Orleans.
I stood on the parish line with the deputies, and we pulled our guns and turned them back. We can't handle them.
The destruction here is truly astounding. Boats strewn across roads like the toys of an angry child, houses crushed, businesses destroyed.
If you look over here, all this rubble right here, that was the hardware store and the post office.
Even the house where Sheriff Hingle grew up is gone.
Okay, you see these clump of trees right here and all that trash? Clump of trees? That was my father's home. And it looked like it just exploded.
Did any homes in your parish survive?
Mine did.
Somehow, the sheriff's current home is still standing.
That other house is not usually as close to us as it is now.
What do you think looking at it?
I think it looks pretty damn good. Well, my wife wanted to repaint anyway, so now we'll have the chance.
First, there's other, grimmer work to do. No one is sure how many died in Plaquemine, so today the sheriff will send deputies to each house to count casualties. Homes with no bodies will be spray painted with yellow circles. If bodies are found, the circles will be red.
And that's going to be really the toughest part.
How many red circles do you think you have to put on houses?
I hope none, but I got a feeling we'll put a lot.
How do you get through that?
How do you get through anything? You know? It's tough, but it's a part of life, and life is not always fair. But you have to make the best of what you got.
Now, while we were visiting the sheriff, a couple of representatives from FEMA did show up, and the sheriff refused to speak to them. Harry?
All right, thanks very much, Tracy Smith. Up next, more from Hurricane Katrina. We'll be back. You're watching The Early Show on CBS.
To be healthy, your eyes need oxygen. Your eyes need breathable O2 Optics contact lenses. Revolutionary contacts that transmit up to 5 times more oxygen than the leading lens. O2 Optics, for wider, healthy-looking eyes. So breathable, they're even approved by the FDA for overnight wear. Visit O2optics.com. O2 Optics, breathable lenses for the health of your eyes.
Want all your cats to look their best? Introducing new Iams Multicat, the first ever food specially tailored to each of your cat's needs, so overweight cats can burn fat and trim cats can build muscle. Now all the cats in your home can have the ideal look. Iams, good for life.
Introducing Olay Quench, a revolutionary body lotion that breaks the cycle of dry skin, leaving your body moisturized, quenched, and beautiful.
You adore the taste of cinnamon, and you love coffee. What happens when your passions get stirred? Folgers new Cinnamon Swirl Ground Coffee. Try all the tempting varieties of Folgers flavors.
Completing chores effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Looking great effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Entertaining friends and family effortlessly during the long weekend. On sale. Rolling back into work effortlessly after the long weekend's over. Also on sale. Labor Day has never been easier. The Labor Day sale at Sears. Through Tuesday. Sears.
I have asthma. And even when I thought I had it under control, it constricted my life. I avoided doing some things because I knew they could trigger my symptoms. When my asthma symptoms flare up, I never know how bad it's going to be. A little wheezing or something more. That's not the way I wanted to live. So I talked to my doctor about getting more symptom-free days with Advair. Advair is the one asthma controller that treats the two main components that cause my asthma symptoms, airway constriction and inflammation. So I can have more days without symptoms, and that means more days without worry.
Advair won't replace fast-acting inhalers for sudden symptoms and should not be taken more than twice a day. Rare but serious asthma-related fatalities occurred in a study with Ceravin, one of the components of Advair. While adjusting to a switch from an oral steroid like prednisone to the inhaled steroid in Advair, be very careful as you may be less able to heal after surgery, infection, or serious injury. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve.
Ask your doctor about Advair. Enjoy more symptom-free days.
Jefferson Parish is a community that surrounds the city of New Orleans on 3 sides. And needless to say, it took such a beating from Hurricane Katrina. But later today, officials there are going to let some families back in the area to assess the damage to their homes. Aaron Broussard is the president of Jefferson Parish. Good morning, Mr. Broussard.
I hope it's a good morning. We'll find out as we try to get hundreds of thousands of our residents back in an orderly way to see the devastation in their parish. They're waiting to make decisions about the rest of their lives. We have to let them in, see the damage for what it is, collect their belongings, document their damage, collect their clothes and their kids' clothes, and they have to move out again. They have to move out for at least 3 weeks or more while I build the infrastructure back up, the electricity, the water, the drainage. It's all got to be rebuilt. It's shattered like a jigsaw puzzle.
And these people are in such a terrible state of limbo, and I guess this is the first step towards assessing their future. And you, Mr. Broussard, have given such a voice to the frustration and anger that you felt about the government's response to this disaster. When you heard Homeland Security Secretary Michael Chertoff yesterday in part blame local officials for the lack of communication, what was your reaction to that?
Ma'am, I never heard that, but I'm not surprised by anything the feds say. They are covering their butts. Man, let me tell you, they have screwed up big time. They're giving you these tiny body counts. That's because they're holding back the horror from the nation so they can try to get their act together. And then by the time they get their act together, the body counts are going to so far surpass Iraq, so far surpass Afghanistan, then they're going to be embarrassed. But they want to get everything under control before they start giving you those body counts. Ma'am, I know where body counts are. I know what the body count, what I think it's really going to be, but I'm not going to horrify the nation this morning. But what FEMA is doing with these eyedropper little bodies here and little bodies there, they're just covering their butts. They don't want America to know just how many people have been murdered by bureaucracy here in New Orleans because of their incompetence and inefficiency.
Well, Mr. Broussard, can you give us some sort of estimate? Your parish covers what? You have a population of about 455,000 before the disaster. How many people do you think have lost their lives?
Ma'am, we have not even started hunting for the dead yet. We don't have the resources to do that. We've been trying to secure our perimeters, and we've been trying to rebuild infrastructure. There are trees that have collapsed on houses. There are houses that have collapsed on houses. There's apartment buildings that have collapsed inside themselves where we got a 911 call and we got nothing. We know that we have many of our residents that have gone to meet God already. God is the only one that has been with this parish since Katrina, and God is the only one that's helped us so far. Now we're starting to get help, but we haven't not had the time to hunt for the dead. It's not our priority. We can't do it now. When the people come in and they start researching their neighborhoods, they're going to see there's a damage next door. They're going to look inside. They're going to find a body. They're going to be horrified. They're going to call us, and then we will have to get out there and address that. I don't even have time to hunt for my dead or bury my dead. It's that kind of situation.
Mr. Broussard, we thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for getting the message out to all of America.
We'll be right back.
Tomorrow, the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the chaos, the confusion, and days of waiting. Now, hear the stories of hope amidst the horror and see how you can help the victims. Our live team coverage of the relief efforts tomorrow on The Early Show.
Cholesterol comes from 2 sources. It's not only from that buttered crab, but from Krabby Aunt Betty. And not just from that ice cream pop, but from Mom and Pop as well. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the 2 sources of cholesterol, food, and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the 2 sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
No matter what you're into, there's only one way to go back to school. Get hooked up with Dell. This Dimension desktop with an Intel Celeron processor is only $299. Plus, get a free printer. Get more out of now. Dell PCs use Intel Celeron processors.
Are you listening to your heart? You should. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Do something good for your heart. Smart Start Healthy Heart, the only national cold cereal with ingredients that may help lower both blood pressure and cholesterol as part of a healthy lifestyle. For a healthy heart, start here.
Do those telltale roots make you just want to die? Problem solved. It's Root Touch-Up by Nice and Easy. Our color-matching formula means you lose those roots in just 10 minutes. Root Touch-Up. Don't be real! How color wonderful.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is now approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News This Morning.
And good morning to you, South Florida. Good to be with you as always this morning. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Angela Ray, and for Susan Barnett, here's a look at what's making news this morning.
South Florida is expected to take in more evacuees needing medical attention. Dozens arrived in over the weekend at the Opa-locka Airport, and some were carried off the plane on stretchers. The Miami VA Medical Center transferred the patients to several area hospitals prepared to care for their medical issues. The Miami Children's Hospital will help with the care and treatment of incoming children. Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx hosted a Hurricane Katrina relief benefit on South Beach last night. Fox's Miami Vice co-star Colin Farrell was also on hand, along with City of Miami's Police Chief John Timoney, to take part in the highly anticipated auction portion of the event. The $200 a person donation benefited the American Red Cross. And on this Labor Day, local beachgoers should be aware of the possibility of rip currents around South Florida's shores. Officials say if you're planning on making it out to the waters this holiday, make sure that you never swim alone. And if caught in a current, stay calm. Don't fight that current. Swim along the shoreline until you're out of it, and swim at an angle until you reach the shore. For more on those stories, be sure to watch CBS 4 News at noon. Now, let's get a live update on traffic, and for that, we turn things over to Erica Del Sordo. Erica.
Well, good morning. All major roadways still look great into and out of downtown Miami. An injury wreck just occurring on the Turnpike southbound after Haneland Mill Drive, which is Southwest 216th Street to look out for. Now, the Palmetto Expressway, problem-free right now, with about a 25-minute ride on the 826 between US 1 and the Golden Glades. Now, the Snapper Creek Expressway westbound where it meets up with Galloway Road. We have a wreck still blocking a lane of traffic. And here is 595 still looking fantastic this morning. You may be tapping the brakes, though, on the Sawgrass Expressway due to an injury wreck northbound after Commercial Boulevard. I'm Erica Del Sordo. Now over to Elizabeth in Weather Control.
Well, good Monday morning to you, Erica. If only our commute could be that easy every morning. I tell you what, you could see a little hazy sunshine out there on this early Labor Day, but we have had a few showers scooting through Miami-Dade and Broward County. They've since dried up, but the Keys have not. It has been a pretty steady shower all the way from Marathon down past the 7 Mile Bridge and into Key West all morning long. So these seem to be moving fairly slowly, but the general motion will be that they'll drift from north to south. so you can see there's still plenty out there where the showers you're seeing right now came from. We do have, as we mentioned, hazy sun out there. Temperatures, though, feel pretty good. They're definitely cooler than they were at this time last week. 76 in West Kendall, 75 in Homestead, 78 in Opelika, and pretty much everybody else all the way up to Pompano Beach is in the mid and upper 70s. Tropically speaking, well, we have Hurricane Maria right here. East of Bermuda, not bothering anyone. We have this little wave of low pressure that is looking pretty healthy this morning, and this one just off to our east. These two, the one over the Bahamas and the one out here about a little less than 300 miles southwest of Bermuda, could develop into depressions number 15 and 16. So we'll keep you posted on all those, especially this one that is sitting so close to home. It is expected to move northward, but again, we at least anticipate the possibility of some development there. So limited sunshine on this Labor Day. We'll see a storm at any time. Coolish and breezy again. 87 is where we'll top out. And as you head back to work on Tuesday, storms likely again. Breezy and cool for this time of the year. We're back up to 90 by Wednesday.
CBS 4 News Traffic is sponsored by Palmetto Ford. Give us a try before you buy. 305-592-FORD.
Follow me to Salsa Night!
South Florida's hottest salsa music, along with Roberto Torres and some of the most beautiful people on the dance floor under the Miccosukee lights. Show off your style or learn how to salsa for the first time.
It's time to salsa at the Miccosukee Resort.
Every Wednesday night. For more information, call 305-925-2555. The Miccosukee Tribe of Indians. Follow us. We're leading the way.
Boy, do I love getting taken for a ride. What I don't love is when the big guy gets taken for a ride on his auto insurance. That's where callinginsurance.com can help. With just one easy phone call to a knowledgeable, licensed rep, you can compare rates from top auto insurance companies, buy the policy that's right for you, and you could save hundreds. Compare, buy, save at insurance.com.
Call now and start saving now. 888-700-1466.
Our crews are live on the Gulf Coast after Katrina. For continuing coverage, keep it on 4.
Big announcement from President Bush about a half hour ago. Today he nominated John Roberts to be the next Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, replacing William Rehnquist, who passed away on Saturday. We're going to get all the latest from the White House just ahead as we welcome you back to the early show on this Labor Day. I'm Hannah Storm along with Harry Smith.
And coming up this morning, funny lady Ellen DeGeneres gets serious about Katrina. We're going to talk to her about the disaster in her native New Orleans and how it has impacted her personally and what she's planning to do to help as many people as possible.
Plus, we'll meet a remarkable woman in Atlanta. She has helped more than 80 family members left homeless by Katrina, finding them all a place to live while they struggle to get back on their feet.
First, though, we want to get to some breaking news this morning. Moving swiftly, President Bush decided today to nominate John Roberts to be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. CBS News senior White House correspondent Bill Plant is live in Washington with more on that. Good morning, Bill.
Well, good morning, Harry. This was something of a surprise. The president's decision, though, followed a weekend of intense strategy sessions after the death of the Chief Justice. The investigation of Roberts is so far along, with his confirmation hearings scheduled to begin this week, although they may now be delayed, that the president obviously figured that he should be easily confirmed, as Mr. Bush in fact said this morning.
The Senate is well along in the process of considering Judge Roberts' qualifications. They know his record and his fidelity to the law. I'm confident that the Senate can complete hearings and confirm him as Chief Justice within a month.
Now, if that happens, if Roberts is confirmed, that means that he will sit as Chief Justice when the court opens for its term on the first Monday in October. And here's something else. It will be a full court, 9 members, because Justice O'Connor, when she tendered her resignation, said that she would serve until her successor was nominated. Well, it looks as though she's in for a few months at least of service. Harry?
Yeah, Bill, one of the things about this nomination is that the president is very, very aware of his legacy. And one of the things he's talked about so much is his legacy with regard to this court. This is a very big deal for him.
Absolutely. And Roberts, I think, is someone he feels he can count on to stick to the constitutional principles and yet get along with people in the same way much that Rehnquist did. Rehnquist was certainly conservative and certainly moved the court a bit to the right, but he got along with all of his colleagues and he got along with most other people.
All right, Bill Plant at the White House this morning. Thank you so much. Now here's Hannah with the rest of this morning's news.
Thanks, Harry. Well, just after that announcement this morning, President Bush heads back to the Gulf Coast, his second visit since Hurricane Katrina hit there. And in New Orleans, the search for survivors and bodies continues this morning. Both federal and state officials now say the death toll in New Orleans could be in the thousands. A rescue helicopter crashed late yesterday, but both Coast Guard crew members did manage to get out without injury. And New Orleans police say they shot and killed at least 5 gunmen who had been shooting at a group of contractors. So the violence continues. For some of the youngest victims of Katrina, survival sometimes has meant separation from their families. CBS News correspondent Trish Regan is live in Houston with more. Good morning, Trish.
Good morning, Hannah. When Katrina struck, some of the littlest victims were sick children in hospitals with no way to get out. We met a little boy yesterday who's already up against some pretty tough odds, but he got some help thanks to the people here in Texas.
You an angel.
Robin Norwood's baby Nash has Down syndrome and leukemia.
How old are you? 2.
Only 2, but he's lived through a lot in the past 8 days. His parents took him to Tulane Hospital in New Orleans last week due to his low blood count. There he developed a fever and couldn't leave the hospital. Katrina was about to hit. His mother stayed by his bed. So you stayed at the hospital?
I was at the hospital.
Did you think about evacuating and leaving him there?
No, God, no.
She was there for all of it. No electricity, little water, little food, and the fear of not knowing if she and her son would make it out alive. It was 5 a.m. on Wednesday morning when she got the order.
And so we have to get him out now.
The doctors wrote the baby's destination, Texas Children's Hospital, on this T-shirt and strapped an ID around his wrist. As Nash was loaded into the helicopter, Robin faced her worst fear.
He could die because of craziness in the streets, people not letting helicopters land to take out sick kids. You know, I mean, that was scary, and that's the helplessness that you feel. It made me wonder about what people go through that are in war.
She made it out of New Orleans the next day and finally got some good news. Nash was okay. What was it like when you finally got to Texas and you came to this hospital?
And it seemed like everything, every bad thing that had been happened just was lifted, just gone. I felt almost free. When I got in his room and looked in his little crib and he was sleeping. I mean, you know, it was like, thank you, God, you know.
The doctors say miraculously Nash's blood count has come down and they're optimistic about his future.
Can you shout hooray?
Nash's parents will know later this week whether his health has really improved after some more tests are run. Meanwhile, it's not just Nash that was helped. Texas Children's Hospital rescued 35 kids from intensive care units in New Orleans. Hannah?
When Texas Children's is such a great hospital and Houston has this renowned medical center, what are they able to do with all those evacuees there in the Astrodome in terms of tending to them, Trish?
Well, there are 17,500 people in this Astrodome behind me. The hospitals have set up clinics to treat these people, and a lot of the kids are coming in. The head pediatrician at Texas Children's Hospital told me yesterday that his team saw 300 children in just 5 hours yesterday. Hannah?
Well, thank goodness they have such great medical resources there in Houston. Trish Regan, thank you so much for your report from there this morning. The first hurricane since Katrina is strengthening over the Atlantic. The good news is forecasters say that Hurricane Maria will not hit land. The storm is expected to die down after reaching cooler waters. Now let's get our final check of the weather on this Labor Day from Pamela Wright of our Miami station WFOR. Hi, Pam.
Hi there, Hannah. So much concern for the Gulf Coast, but still a holiday weekend, and where better to come than New York City, and weather out here is absolutely gorgeous. There are many more Texans this morning, so many from Louisiana and Mississippi going to Texas. Barbara here is from Houston, and tell us, Barbara, what your church in Houston is doing.
Right now we are feeding around 700 each night, and we have food in essentials for
clothing, they said, everything, just helping out, and everybody coming together from Houston to over to Arlington and in Dallas. Hey, Julie. All right, and go Dolphins. They have to go somewhere better than last year, right? My neighbors came all the way up here to see me this morning. You know what? Let's take a look at what's going to be happening outside today. And here's your picture on this Labor Day across the U.S. Windy and wet across South Florida. Storms popping up in West Texas and in New Mexico, and the 90s in the northern plains give way to some rain and a cooling trend up there, but gusty and stormy along the East Coast, so watch out for that. All right, there's the big picture. Here's what's going on in your area.
Good Monday morning and happy Labor Day to you. I think Pamela took all the good weather out to New York with her. It's a little soggy out there this morning. We've had a couple of showers, a bit of hazy sunshine breaking out through Miami, Dade, and Broward, but a little stormy right now down in the Keys with rain stretching from north of Marathon all the way down to Key West. So storms likely today, coolish and breezy with a high of only 87. And as you head back to work tomorrow, storms likely again, breezy and cool. 88 is where we'll top out. We're back up to 90 by the middle of the week. Have a good one.
Not in Kansas anymore. A beautiful day in New York City. Harry, back to you.
All right, thanks, man. Many celebrities have come forward to help raise money for victims of Hurricane Katrina. One of them is this year's Emmy host, comedian and New Orleans native Ellen DeGeneres. She plans to host a special hurricane telethon, and she told Julie Chen all about it.
It must be so hard for you trying to prepare for the Emmys while this is all going on in your hometown, all the devastation in New Orleans.
As it happens, it's just, you know, it's lots of crying and then preparing for my show and being excited about the third season and launching my show and hosting the Emmys and trying to, like, that wasn't, you know, enough with this going on. And my family is I'm from New Orleans, so my family's in Mississippi and they've lost everything, and my friends have lost everything, and so you know, it's a lot, and now I just feel just numb. I mean, my heart breaks for these people that are still stuck there. It's one thing that everybody's lost everything and they got out, but then there are still people there. So it's a lot of different emotions going on.
Your aunt, your mom's sister, was there. Is she okay?
My Aunt Helen is 82 years old. You know, growing up in New Orleans, you know, prepare for hurricanes all the time, and I have memories of my dad boarding up windows and taping windows, and my aunt lost her house once before in Camille, and they rebuilt, and now her son lives in that house that we spent all of our weekends and summers there, and they found 4 pieces of silverware. That's what they have left, and my aunt grabbed 4 pictures from her house. She's 82, and she's there with my cousins, and they all are someplace together because they've all lost everything.
Like all of us, Ellen has been riveted to the devastating images coming from the hurricane zone.
You just watch these people huddled together, and you go, really? No one can, that's what emergency services are for. Don't say you can't get in there. Just get food and water to these people that are, you know, I don't know how these babies, you see people holding babies, and how are they still okay? They don't have any food. It's you know, it's unbelievable.
And it's even more personal to you because you're watching what, you know, all your childhood memories in your hometown just completely gone.
I mean, New Orleans was such a special city. New Orleans was such a, anybody who's visited there, especially if you're from there, it's like this, you feel like you're part of a club, you know, it's just such a great music town and so much culture and so much history, and I don't know, I don't know how to even feel because you can't drive back home and there's just nothing left.
Ellen hopes to do her part by hosting a telethon this Friday.
What I think that, you know, I can do is first of all, make people laugh, make people happy. That's what my job is to try to take people's minds off of this devastation and host this benefit, this telethon that's going to happen on Friday.
And the telethon Shelter from the Storm is going to air simultaneously on all the broadcast networks on Friday night. That's at Friday night at 8, 7 Central. Now here's Hannah.
All right, Harry, thanks. Just outside of Atlanta comes a story of hope and survival. Claudia and Ty Leone have been caring for none less than 84 relatives displaced by Hurricane Katrina. They have found shelter, food, and clothing for all of them. Claudia is personally housing a dozen or so family members in her home, including her sister-in-law, Tony Garner. And they both join us this morning, along with a whole bunch of other folks from the family. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
I mean, Claudia, tell us, well, I know your husband's one of 17 children, so you have an absolutely huge family. As all of these relatives started pouring in over the past week with nowhere else to go, no one else to turn to, what has that been like?
It has been just overwhelming. I first started getting calls actually last Saturday, as early as last Saturday, and I reacted immediately. There was no other reaction but to say, y'all come on. And we've had some that are down there that are not able to get out. There's 110 immediate family members, 80 of which have been devastated by the storm. We still have some that are displaced that are down in Baton Rouge. We have some that are in Florida, Memphis, but the bulk of them have come to Atlanta. And I just had no other recourse but to open my doors. I'm so grateful and thankful for all my friends. I've had a lot of help from New York, from up there in New York City. Thank you, Tommy, Debbie. Thank you, Yvette. I can't thank everybody enough. The Home Depot, Applebee's, the corporate sponsors have been wonderful. But it's just still not enough. We have people that are 16 people right now that I've had to send to a shelter. We have one that's expecting a baby any day.
Oh boy, wow.
My neighbors here, the house that we're living in, we're actually managing the property for a wonderful man by the name of Dean Jordan in Arizona. This house is actually for sale. He has opened it up to let us come in and do this. We're encouraging other people that have relocated, that have vacant properties for sale here in Atlanta. Open up your houses. There's so many people like me that are helping families, but we need help as well.
Yeah.
The clothes, the food, all that's wonderful, but we need monetary donations to really pull everybody together and to get this going, Hannah.
Yeah, Claudia, that's what we're hearing from everybody, that money is really important. That's what everybody needs. And Tony, I got to ask you, you know, I know that you were able to leave your home, thankfully, before the hurricane hit, but to watch all of this unfold and watch your city absolutely decimated, what is this like for you now to be in this limbo and not know what the status is of your home and your job and have your family scattered around the country?
First of all, I want to thank America. I want to thank the state of Georgia. They gave us Medicare and food stamps on Friday. My home is in 18 feet of water. I lost everything. I only had clothing for 4 days. I had packed because when Ivan hit last year, a lot of people took it for granted because we all were stalled on the interstate, which we call back in New Orleans on the interstate. And this time when it came, a lot of people didn't evacuate because of what happened to Hurricane Ivan last year.
Sure, a lot of people didn't think it was going to be this serious.
A lot of people that was left in New Orleans are poor poverty people, people that was living on fixed incomes, people that was on welfare, people that did not have automobiles to get out of Louisiana. I am fortunate that Claudia and my brother Tyrone did live here out of state in Atlanta to help our family members that did survive. I am thankful to God that we didn't lose no sisters, no brothers.
Yeah.
But we are separated. We never ever been separated in life, and it hurts.
Well, Tony, we do wish you well. Claudia, thanks so much for all you're doing. We're so happy to just see you there together. And as you mentioned, we feel for so many of these families who are separated now. Thanks so much. We wish you all well.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care. Well, Harry, I mean, that's just, right there.
It's
just the tip of the iceberg, but it is a perfect example of what she was saying. So many people left. You saw all of this last week.
And of the things that stand out to me from last week is people who have and people who don't have. And so here's this family has a little.
Right.
So, but they've even had to say, some of you are going to have to go into a shelter because they're trying to, individual families, if they have the capability to take in their friends or loved ones, that's an amazing thing. But you're going to have these tens of thousands of people who don't have anyone they know who have the wherewithal to help catch them. So those folks, as bad off as they are, that we just talked to, with the people being shoved off in
At least
shelters.
they have each other. They have a roof over their head, right? They have some family. What about these people who are just, you know, in limbo right now? You put it in purgatory. They have nothing.
Very difficult. And while they're safe and they're clean now, over the weeks to come, that's going to become untenable on its own level.
A lot of talk about race and the fact that so many of the people that were left there are black and poor, and these are people who had no means to get out.
Right. I think one of the things, you know, that became sort of
Did you
this...
hear a lot about that?
We actually talked to a lot of people about that on Friday, and that became sort of the screaming face of the storm that we saw day after day after day. And I would just suggest it's even more complicated than that, because there are huge, predominantly white parishes that we've even heard from this morning.
Jefferson Parish, right.
Plaquemine Parish, where they have not received one single iota of federal help, even still this morning.
Right.
So while that may have, you know, that horrible thing happened, which is absolutely inexcusable, but the fact is that federal aid, that federal help that so many people looked for, it didn't go there. It also didn't go over here and over there and over there and over there.
All the surrounding areas and a lot of small towns, even in Mississippi, just begging for help. And was that despair, anger, hopelessness? I mean, what was the range of emotions that you were encountering?
Well, here's the folks we met in Bay St. Louis.
Right.
These folks had come there a couple of years ago. He's got a great job at Stennis in aerospace, and that was their dream home.
Looks beautiful.
Oh,
Looks
it's
like
good.
it was.
But
Yeah,
look at this subdivision. All you see out there is concrete slabs. Every single house in this subdivision has been wiped off the face of the earth. But they have options, though, because they have family in Boston, they have family, so they can put their kids on an airplane and find a place for them to go to school. Even at that, though, the stress of all of this, we can't even imagine what the day-to-day stress of all of this compounded to what, maybe 1 million people, maybe more than that?
And this displacement issue, too, the fact that these people are far-flung all across the United States, and that makes this a bit different from some of the other disasters that we've seen.
Terrible. We heard one of our affiliates this morning, and they're starting to take people in Minneapolis.
It's incredible.
And how do these people get a hold of their neighbors or their loved ones from their neighborhood that they have no idea where they are?
And just this horrific scene is going to continue to unfold as this becomes a recovery mission this week as well.
It's actually worse than it looks.
Yeah. Well, you're headed back out there, so thank you for bringing us that story home, and take care. This is the Early Show on CBS.
$99 a month! Buy a new 05 Hyundai Elantra from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Hyundai, Northwest 36th Street and 32nd Avenue, just $10 east of the airport.
Hurricane Katrina. It's being called the worst natural disaster in the U.S. since Andrew. Now CBS 4's Brian Norcross breaks down the storm from first landfall.
This is a bad situation.
To the devastation on the Gulf Coast.
We lost our home. We have nowhere to go.
With special insight from David Bernard on the scene in his former hometown of New Orleans. Plus the latest information on the flooding, the recovery efforts, and how you can help. Watch a special edition of Hurricane 2005 in the path of Katrina. Today at 9 on CBS 4. Brought to you by these sponsors.
I'm Alev Tuju, your Publix pharmacist. Managing cholesterol and osteoporosis, exercising regularly, and eating right are important steps for every woman to take.
To learn more about women's health issues, join us for CBS 4's Health Watch on Women's Wellness, Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6:30. Our panel of healthcare professionals will be on hand to answer all of your questions and concerns. And be sure to walk with us at the 2005 Miami-Dade County Hard Walk on Saturday, September 17th at Peacock Park in Coconut Grove.
Treat yourself right and take care of your health.
Still frustrated by your lower back or neck pain? An astonishing new DVD exposes why most doctors have no idea what to do when their patients suffer with lower back and neck pain. They try drugs and other ineffective treatments, hoping that someday the pain will go away, but it never does. Don't take another pill or even consider surgery until you get your free copy of the DVD that can change the way you can live life without back or neck pain. Call the toll-free 24-hour recorded message now at 800-245-0956.
$99 a month, but buy a new i5 Kia Spectra from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Kia, Northwest 36th Street and 32nd Avenue, just 10 blocks east of the airport.
And before we go, here's Bob Schieffer with a preview of tonight's CBS Evening News.
Tonight, New Orleans is finally getting the relief it needs, but the entire area remains a disaster zone. Continuing team coverage on tonight's CBS Evening News.
Right here, so you're going to fly, you have to go to Baton Rouge, right?
Right,
Is
that's
that
the
where,
closest
right.
place. And that in of itself is a story.
Yeah, what's
there
that
are
like?
100,000 more people in Baton Rouge than there normally are. There are traffic jams on streets that have never seen a traffic jam.
I mean, they can't handle that, right?
Every single hotel in that entire region, the closest hotel is in Memphis.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. All right. Well, we'll look forward to your reports from the hurricane region tomorrow. The rest of you guys take care. Enjoy your day off. Your local news is next.
Tomorrow, the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the chaos, the confusion, and days of waiting. Now, hear the stories of hope amidst the horror and see how you can help the victims. Our live team coverage of the relief efforts tomorrow on The Early Show.
No community in the country knows the meaning of the words natural disaster like we do here in South Florida. We recovered because we got help. Now it's our turn to help. Call 305-597-4404. Thank you.
George Clooney's marriage confession next ET.
I'm Jan Carl with George Clooney in Venice.
Then a Hilton Sisters wild Vegas night with the Pussycat Dolls. Plus, Jan, Carl, and Oprah remember Maddie and help his dream live on next ET.
Weeknights at 7 on CBS 4.
Urgent. Employee pricing plus. Save up to $67.38 on Pacifica. Save up to $71.31 on Town and Country. Employee pricing plus at Day Jeep Chrysler. Southwest 158th Street and US 1.
I'm Alev Tuju, your Publix pharmacist. Managing cholesterol and osteoporosis, exercising regularly, and eating right are important steps for every woman to take.
To learn more about women's health issues, join us for CBS 4's Health Watch on Women's Wellness, Thursday afternoon from 4 to 6:30. Our panel of healthcare professionals will be on hand to answer all of your questions and concerns. And be sure to walk with us at the 2005 Miami-Dade County Hard Walk on Saturday, September 17th at Peacock Park in Coconut Grove.
Treat yourself right and take care of your health.
Clorox regular bleach isn't just for the laundry. It can be used all around the home. That hard-to-clean mildew in the bath and shower? Gone. Ugly toilet stains? Gone. Tough kitchen grout stains? Gone. Hidden germs on faucet handles? Gone. Clorox regular bleach is approved for cafeterias, hospitals, and daycare centers. Why not use it around your home? It disinfects toys to help prevent the spread of cold and flu viruses. It sanitizes, deodorizes, and disinfects all sorts of things. Take it outdoors to remove mildew and moss from patios, fences, and more. If you still think Clorox regular bleach should be relegated to the laundry room, it's time to get the facts. Go online now and download a free tips booklet and start getting more use out of that Clorox regular bleach bottle you already own. Clorox regular bleach. It's ready to go to work. Clorox. Cleaner world, healthier lives.
$99 a month! Lease a brand new 05 Nissan Sentra or Altima, your choice, from just $99 a month. Only at Bill Seidel Nissan, 10500 Northwest 12th Street, where the Dolphin meets the Turnpike, just across from Miami International Mall.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News This Morning.
And good morning to you, South Florida. Good to be with you as always this morning. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Angela Ray, and for Susan Barnett, here's a look at what's making news this morning.
South Florida is expected to take in more evacuees needing medical attention. Dozens arrived in over the weekend at the Opa-locka Airport, and some were carried off the plane on stretchers. The Miami VA Medical Center transferred the patients to several area hospitals prepared to care for their medical issues. The Miami Children's Hospital will help with the care and treatment of incoming children. Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx hosted a Hurricane Katrina relief benefit on South Beach last night. Fox's Miami Vice co-star Colin Farrell was also on hand, along with City of Miami's Police Chief John Timoney, to take part in the highly anticipated auction portion of the event. The $200 a person donation benefited the American Red Cross. And on this Labor Day, local beachgoers should be aware of the possibility of rip currents around South Florida's shores. Officials say if you're planning on making it out to the waters this holiday, make sure that you never swim alone. And if caught in a current, stay calm. Don't fight that current. Swim along the shoreline until you're out of it and swim at an angle until you reach the shore. For more on those stories, be sure to watch CBS 4 News at noon. Now, let's get a live update on traffic, and for that, we turn things over to Erica Del Sordo. Erica.
Good morning. Wet weather could impede your ride today. Lots of wet pavement, so watch your speed and following distance. Good news is a lot of people are at home for Labor Day, so the Palmetto Expressway so far is problem-free with about a 25-minute ride for you, and that is on the 826 between US 1 and the Golden Glades interchange. The Snapper Creek Expressway westbound where it meets up with Galloway Road, we still have a wreck blocking a lane of traffic there. Broward County 595, there we go, looking great this morning. You may be tapping the brakes on the Sawgrass Expressway due to an injury wreck northbound after Commercial Boulevard. And the Turnpike southbound where it meets Sunrise Boulevard, look out for a new wreck there. I'm Erica Del Sordo. Now over to Elizabeth in Weather Control.
Well, good Monday morning to you, Erica. It is kind of a soggy start. We've had some showers in and out of here. For the most part, we're dry through Miami-Dade and Broward County, but it's a little bit hazy out there. And here's what it looks like on the radar. The broad view shows that there's plenty of stuff waiting for us offshore. So that's kind of be moving in through the day. I know, not the greatest Labor Day forecast, but we've just got to deal with the hand we were dealt. The showers have been very steady down in the lower Keys from Marathon to Key West, and that's going to continue as well. The good news I can offer up is that the temperatures are a little bit cooler than they have been here recently. It's only 76 down in West Kendall, 75 in Homestead, 78 in Opelika. That's our warm spot, and 77 northward at the Fort Lauderdale Airport. Now, tropically speaking, we're watching a couple of areas of low pressure. One, which is just off our coast. That makes us a little nervous just because of proximity alone. And this one out here, southwest of Bermuda, both of those show possible signs of development. This is Hurricane Maria, way out there in the Atlantic, not bothering anyone, and that's the way we like them. So we'll keep you posted on tropical developments through the day. Limited sun, storms at any time. We'll top out near 87, and it will be breezy. We also talked about that moderate risk of rip currents, so be careful if you venture into the water. We'll warm back up by the middle of the week. Have a good one.
So let's mix a lavender.
Hey, what you doing?
Nothing.
Come on over and let's play at our house. We'll play some games. Even the kids can play. Grab a bite to eat. Oh, invite your friends. We have plenty of room. Miccosukee Resort and Gaming. You bet you're gonna have a great time.
All across America, people are celebrating their freedom from credit card debt. They're using Consolidated Credit Counseling Services.
We work with credit card companies to get your interest rates reduced or even eliminated.
Consolidated cut our interest rates in half.
Our payments dropped from $650 to $350 a month. It was great.
Call now, 1-800-446-6681. That's 1-800-446-6681.
Freedom!
You're watching CBS 4, South Florida's most watched television station.